Well, good afternoon, everybody. The stock market is selling off today. We're in the deep red, and I am terrified. We had a disaster jobs report, which could have precipitated the sell off. And on top of that, Trump is once again modifying his tariffs, which he's so fond of doing. Welcome back to the Dong Report. We're going to dive into all the lovely stock market news today. Buckle up. So, first thing we're going to look at is the stock market. And before I dive into this, let me remind you, I'm in a hotel. If the internet cuts out, I apologize. Sue me. So as of right now at 3:32 p.m. Eastern Time, the S&P 500 is down 1.67%. The NASDAQ 100 is down 2%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 1.31%. And the Russell 2000 Small Caps is down 2%. My lovely international stocks, which we always have to check, the Total International Index ETF, ticker symbol VXUS, is down 0.47%. And VT, my basically only investment besides treasuries, is down 1.24%. Let me remind you not to panic. Number one, if you're a long-term investor, doesn't matter. Number two, we're still up year to date for basically every single ETF. Okay, so this is not a market crash if anybody tries to freak out about that. But it's a decent sell-off, because we're all used to freaking green markets. But we're not at catastrophe levels yet. So what's going on here? Well, let's start with Trump's Truth Social post. Trump is not happy with the jobs numbers that came out. And then we're going to go dive a little bit further into the jobs numbers. So here he is posting on Truth Social that was basically reposted to X. I was just informed that our country's jobs numbers are being produced by a Biden appointee, Dr. Erica McIntarfer. McIntarfer. I can't say her name. The commissioner of labor statistics who faked the job numbers during the election to try and boost Kamala's chances of victory. So I guess now what Trump is accusing her of is faking the job numbers to the downside for Trump. This is the same Bureau of Labor Statistics that overstated the jobs growth in March 2024 by approximately 818,000. I think that's because they have to estimate. I'm sure there's some formula they use, but they don't have the exact job numbers. They have to basically guess what they are. And then in the future, when they actually get solid numbers, then they revise it. And it's generally revised down. And then again, right after 2024, presidential election in August and September by 112,000. These were records. No one can be that wrong. We need accurate jobs numbers. I have directed my team to fire this Biden political appointee immediately. So basically, if you tell Trump numbers that he doesn't like, you get fired. That's what this sounds like. As a Trump voter, that's what that sounds like to me. Always give him good numbers, big, beautiful numbers. She will be replaced with someone much more competent and qualified, and the numbers will magically get better. Important numbers like this must be fair and accurate. They can't be manipulated for political reasons. McInterfer said there were only 73,000 jobs added, a shock. But more importantly, that a major mistake was made by them, 258,000 jobs downward in the prior 2 months. Well, if she wanted to sabotage Trump, right? If she wanted to sabotage Trump, wouldn't she have made the jobs look bad from the beginning? Wouldn't she have understated the jobs? She basically overstated the jobs, which helped Trump. So if this was a vast conspiracy, I would imagine she would have understated them. And that would have made him look bad a couple months ago. That doesn't make any sense. Similar things happen in the first part of the year, always to the negative. The economy is booming because he says so. And Trump, despite a Fed that also plays games, this time with interest rates, where they lowered them twice and substantially just before the presidential election, I assume in the hopes of getting Kamala elected. How did that work out? Jerome Too Late Powell should be also put out to pasture. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Okay, so if you do your job and you report the numbers as best as you can, you're fired unless they look really good. Apparently, there's a conspiracy to make Trump look bad, even though the numbers were actually inflated earlier. If they were inflated, then that's actually not a conspiracy against you. And of course, he's got to bash Jerome Powell because Trump is a pumper. He wants super low rates so we can have massive investment, massive clown market, everything going up, party in the USA. Okay. But there's a risk of tariffs a risk of inflation because of his tariffs. So here's Trump freaking out on Truth Social. Now, that's partly the reason why this stock market sold off, I imagine. Okay, because U.S. stocks definitely sold off a lot worse than international stocks. So we got the report here. Total non-farm payroll employment changed little in July, plus 73,000, and has shown little change since April. And the U.S. BLS reported today. The unemployment rate at 4.2% also changed little in July. Employment continued to trend up in healthcare and social assistance. Oh, that's wonderful. Basically, two government massively subsidized industries, healthcare and social assistance. Federal government continued to lose jobs. Wonderful. Okay, this news release presents statistics from 2 monthly surveys. The household survey measures labor force status, including unemployment by demographic, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so let's go look at some more statistics here. So it says among the major worker groups, the unemployment rate for adult men was 4%. 4%, that's pretty freaking low. That's not a insanely high unemployment rate, but it's trending up. It's all about the trend. Adult women, 3.7%. Women are more employed than men. Teenagers, 15.2%, get a freaking job. Blancos, 3.7%. Shaleals, 7.2%. Asians, 3.9%, and Hispanics, 5%. Showed little change in July. Man, there are some disparities there. We need to commission a DEI commission. Among the unemployed, the number of new entrants increased by 275,000 in July to 985,000. Woo, man, that is a big jump in the unemployed. New entrants are unemployed people who are looking for their first job. Yeah, I hear the job market's bad. I mean, I currently have a job. But I've been applying recently. And to be honest, I guess it's industry specific. It's industry. I mean, if you work in healthcare, I think you're always going to have a job. If you work in accounting, unless AI, my hot guy, takes it over, I think you're always going to have a job. There's certain job fields that I don't think you have to worry about, but I'm sure there's other ones that could be an issue. In July, the total number of long-term unemployed, those jobless with 27 weeks or more, increased by 179,000 to 1.8 million. Basically, that's all YouTubers. Basically, if you're long-term unemployed, they become YouTubers. The long-term unemployed accounted for 24.9% of all unemployed people. The labor force participation rate at 62.2% changed little in July, but has declined by 0.5 percentage point over the year. So less people are participating in the labor force. I thought we were all dual income households. What's going on here? The number of people employed part-time for economic reasons at 4.7 million changed little in July. Those individuals would have preferred full-time employment, but were working part-time because their hours had been reduced or they were unable to find full-time jobs. The number of people not in the labor force who currently want a job changed little in July at 6.2 million, but was up by 568,000. These individuals were not counted as unemployed because they are not actively looking for work. People always say that's like a manipulation of statistics. I don't really have an opinion on that, but they do definitely modify the unemployment rate by not counting certain people because they're not looking for work. So, I mean, yes, the job growth has definitely slowed down, but it's not at catastrophic levels yet. Let's keep reading. In July, healthcare added 55,000 jobs. Now, let me tell you something here. If accounting ever got automated away by AI, I'd honestly go into nursing. I don't want to go to nursing. I don't want to be a medical professional. But if I got desperate because AI, my hot guy, took over all the accounting fields, I would work to become a nurse practitioner. I would try to be high up in the nursing arena. Number one, because it's a very solid career field. You can make a lot of freaking money. And number two, lots of cheeks. So healthcare is doing good. Over the month, job gains occurred in ambulatory healthcare services plus 34,000 and hospitals plus 16,000. Social assistance employment, that's a surprising one. I thought we were cutting that. Continued to trend up in July, plus 18,000. Reflecting continued job growth in individual and family services. That's really surprising, actually. Federal government employment continued to decline in July, negative 12,000, and is down by 84,000 since reaching a peak in January. I mean, that's not a lot. Okay, that's really not a big cut in federal. There's like 2 million federal employees. Wow. Okay. Employment showed little change over the month in other industries. Okay. Average hourly earnings for all employees on private non-farm payrolls rose by 12 cents or 0.3% to 36.44 in July. Average hourly earnings is 36.44. Basically, you double that, and that's like, what, $672,000, $75,000? But that's the average, maybe not the median. Okay. Over the past 12 months, average hourly earnings have increased by 3.9%. I mean, that's actually to beat inflation that they report. So wages are actually growing a little bit faster than inflation if you trust the numbers. Okay. The average work week for all employees edged up by 0.1 hour, so 6 minutes, to 34.3 hours in July. In manufacturing, the average work week held at 40.1 hours, and overtime edged down to 2.8 hours. That's fun. Oh, I thought we got a tax-free overtime, bro. Okay, and then here we go with the revisions. Revisions for May and June were larger than normal. The change in total non-farm payroll employment for May was revised down by 125,000. And the change for June was revised down by 133,000. So that's $258,000 that they 258,000 jobs that they revised down. Yeah. Okay. Monthly revisions result from additional reports received from businesses and government agencies since the last published estimates and from the recalculation of seasonal factors. Yes, they're doing estimates. Okay. That's how they initially do the jobs report. And this report we got is also an estimate, and it may be revised up or down in the future. I suspect it's going to be revised up when Trump puts a new person in office or in the position. Okay. So here's Trump doing his freaking rant, of course. And then there's an article about it. I mean, I guess we don't have to read about it, but he's going to fire the chief. Actually, let's see what else he says. Okay. I guess they're just covering the tweet that he mentioned here. Let's see. Yeah, basically give Trump good numbers at all times or you're going to get fired. You got to be honest about this. Now, let's look at a chart of non-farm payrolls over time. If it actually freaking loads here. If it loads, come on. Hello? Hello? Okay, so here's Heather Long Dong here. This is a game changer jobs report. The labor market now looks a lot weaker than expected. July job gains were 73,000. June, just 14,000. May, just 19,000. Big, so many jobs, bro. Note, 75% of the jobs in July came from healthcare. Yeah, we saw that. So look at this chart right here. Wow. Guys, look, ever since January 23, the economy's definitely booming, bro. There's so many new jobs being created. Yeah, there's a clear trend. What's going on here? Okay. Now, she also says this puts a September rate cut from the Fed back on the table. So it's like the Fed's kind of in a bind because if jobs are crashing, okay, well, that could lead to a rate cut, but there's also potentially inflation in the future because of Trump's tariffs. So what do you do when there's jobs collapsing and there's more inflation, elevated inflation in the future? I don't freaking know. Not my problem. But I guess they are back on the table. It's possible because they have a dual mandate, price stability and employment. All right, let's check the screen, make sure we're sharing. Okay, now let's talk about the new tariffs. So, of course, Trump is addicted to tariffs. It makes him feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Basically, he assesses tariffs on countries. And eventually they have a thorough negotiation. And then they basically promise him that they're going to invest a lot of money in the future in America. I don't know how that's going to happen. And he keeps claiming that he's winning. I don't think he's winning, personally. I think in the long run, he's damaging America's reputation because he's being a total freaking clown. He's being like super aggressive with these countries. You have to treat your allies and other countries with respect instead of being this arrogant freaking clown. Anyway, so the White House sets a new swath of tariffs and a new date for dozens of countries. Scary. All right, we got shipping containers in Taiwan. Yeah, let's tariff Taiwan, our buddy. Trump has issued updated tariff rates, listing more than 65 countries plus the European Union. Let's see what this link takes us to. Okay. Let's see if he actually mentions it by country here. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, it's a bunch of word salad, basically. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, here's the countries. He's tariffing Afghanistan. Oh, that's funny. Oh, yeah, we got to get Afghanistan. They're a huge trade partner of us. Maybe we'll get back all the money we spent on that war that we lost. Algeria, 30%. Let's see. Bosnia and Herzegovina, 30%. Botswana, 15%. Brazil, 10%. You know, I noticed coffee went up a lot. I don't know if it's because of the cost of the coffee beans or tariffs or a combination of both, but I was actually a little shocked. That was the first time that I actually saw inflation at the supermarket besides beef. I was like, what? That's how much coffee costs now? Okay. He's only tariffing Chad at 15%. European Union, 0%. Goods with column 1 duty rate of 15%. Okay, because I guess we got a deal, bro. We got a deal. He's tariffing the Falkland Islands. I think it's a small island chain off of Argentina. India, 25%. Iraq, 35%. Is that where we get our oil, bro? Let's see. Laos, 40%. Let's see any other big countries here. Libya. How much trade do we have with Libya? 30%. Myanmar, Burma, 40%. Let's see. Norway, 15%. I guess Norway isn't in the EU. South Africa, 30%. Because of the white farmers, bro. Switzerland, 39%. Syria? Syria? Do we have any trade with Syria? 41%. Taiwan, who makes all our chips, 20%. Let's see. What other stupid rates does he have? Venezuela. Okay, so pretty crazy freaking rates. I mean, it is going to boost income for the U.S. government. It's a fact. But it's also going to lead to price increases or contraction in corporate profits. So that's inflationary, and it's also not necessarily good for corporate profits for some companies. So I don't know what there is to celebrate about this. It's basically a tax raise, and the taxes come from corporate profits and people's wallets in the supermarket. Okay. Some of these rates reflect what was shared in earlier letters posted by the president. Honestly, if I worked it for like the customs, like, for whoever has to enforce these, I would have no idea what's going on because there's so many freaking changes. I'd be lost in the sauce about these freaking tariff rates. While the administration has for weeks said August 1 would be the new date to implement tariffs, most countries won't see these rates take effect for at least a week. It's going to be a taco. Trust me on that one. Stock market's selling off. Jobs are weak. Oh, we got so many deals. We decided to lower the tariff to 10% for everybody. That's what he's going to say. Trump has repeatedly shifted trade deadlines as in continuing negotiations with various. Of course he does. He's a bussy. Countries not listed in the order will face an additional rate of 10% in 7 days. Other exceptions include Canada. The United States, or the White House, says in a separate executive order on Thursday that goods from Canada that are not covered by the USMCA will be subject to 35% tariffs beginning Friday. Oh, that's today. The administration says Canada is not doing enough to combat illicit trafficking. That's such a BS excuse. And blames it for retaliating against U.S. actions to address the issue. Trump has spoken positively about negotiations with China. The order issued Thursday said China will be subject to a prior order for the time being. And then the White House said that a new tariff rate on goods from Mexico is on pause. The White House says there will be an additional 40% tariff imposed for transshipment. He doesn't like that. Transshipment. Countries sending their goods to the U.S. through other countries in an attempt to aid tariffs. Okay, so that's basically indirectly targeting China, because they basically just send it to other countries and then those countries ship it out. Despite Trump's framing of tariffs as an amount that other countries pay, false, importers in the U.S. pay the tariffs directly to the American government. It's a tax increase. It's a tax increase. Foreign businesses can absorb some of these costs, but U.S. businesses and consumers have historically seen higher prices as a result of tariffs. Yeah, it's going to be a combination of all of them. Foreign businesses, U.S. businesses, and consumers. You will see an effect because of these freaking tariffs. So that's the news today. Let's go check the stock market again. Okay, it's not a major catastrophe. Let's see. Or are we going to get a rally at the end of the day? And it's so funny because there were so many like blockbuster earnings like Meta and Microsoft, and then the market still freaking sells off. Let's see year to date for the S. So the S&P still up 6% year to date. Let's see if Meta and Microsoft sold off. Meta's down 3%. Microsoft's down 3% or 1.7%, excuse me. Let's see what's going on with Coinbase. They had awful earnings. Down 15%. I love it. I freaking love it. What's going on with Bitcoin? Our favorite investment of all time. All right. I don't know why I'm so tiny right now. Hold on. Hold on a minute. Hold your horses. There we go. Once again, I don't want to hear complaining. I'm in a hotel. All right, before we dive into comments, check out all my CPA services. I'm a certified public accountant. I can do your business or personal taxes any state in the United States. You can talk to me for free. I'll give you an upfront quote, and I can prepare your taxes or do your bookkeeping like a boss. I also do sponsored videos, $50 a pop. You send me $50, and I do a video about whatever you want. I have a book, Stop Being a Broke Loser. It's on Amazon. I have a free Discord where you can talk about clowns and have a good time. All of that is in the pinned comment. Click on that, brings you to a link tree, and you can find whatever you want. Vertical lines, bro. Ryu. And like I said, you got to be a member. I'm not answering your clownish comments. Yeah, we got vertical lines down today. I have zero regrets to selling all my stock when the tariff war started. You know, I actually sold at the top. I feel like a genius. I sold a total of $7,500 and put it into short-term treasuries. Not because I'm timing the market. Well, I kind of did. I kind of timed it. But I need cash. I really need cash. So I sold like right at the top. So I'm kind of a genius. Maybe you should buy my trade alerts. Wesley Mitchell. I don't know who's dumber, Trump or his MAGA tards. Trump's definitely smarter than the average MAGA person. The average MAGA person is a fanatic. I voted for him, but I don't consider myself MAGA. I'm not in the cult where everything he says is good. Oh, he's so smart. Oh, he's rich, bro. He's rich. Taco boy. Yep, he's going to taco. I would not stress about those tariffs at all. I'm done talking about them. You know, I'll cover the news, but worrying about them, he's a freaking clown. Vertical lines. All right, we got fake alias. He's a CPA, so he gets responses. Why is the market dead? Tell me, strong man. Go watch me, Kevin. He actually knows. He always knows. I know nothing. Only fanboys use the term TDS, LOL. Yeah, basically, if you criticize anything for Trump, you have TDS. And I voted for him. People called me a liberal when I'm definitely not a liberal. Bro, you can't criticize him, bro. It's true. You're a fanboy of who? Geodis? All right. The stock market must have TDS too, huh? It's a minor sell-off. I mean, like I said, he's going to taco out, and then he's going to revise the jobs report. He's going to hire a fluffer. He's going to hire some fluffer that's going to work at the BLS, and they're going to revise everything up, and he's going to have a booming economy. Such a clown, dude. What did Lafufu do? Oh, you'll see in a later video. All right, here we got drama again. Dan Weston, you lying fraud clown, you hear. Bring forward one guest of Capital Mindset that I stalked. Like, what's going on, man? When I don't even know any guest names, I never even watch a guest stream, a clown. Is Dan in the comments? Are we going to get a response from Danny Boy? Dan Weston did some common play in the book. Accuse the people who expose you of what you're doing. Oh, those are some serious allegations there, Gilly Boy. Dan Weston, I got 100% accuracy for the year, clown. Didn't have to sell off 50% of my portfolio like you did. Yeah, luckily that loading screen wasn't too bad. Okay. We got Soy Boy Personal Finance. Member on 2 channels, not 1, but 2. Not my proudest fab. You should be proud of it, okay? I'm a very attractive man. Tiny Man Finance, not everywhere. I want to know what Lafufu did and get to the Meet Kevin loss. Dude, it's at 7 o'clock. So I'm doing this, and then I'm covering Figma, and then I'm going to have a Chipotle burrito with white rice, black beans, double chicken, lettuce, tomatoes. Wait, do they have lettuce? Am I going crazy here? Tomatoes, hot sauce, sour cream, cheese, and I think lettuce? I think I'm hallucinating now. But no, I'm having a burrito. And then I'll come back and I'll cover all the drama. So there's a lot of fun that we're going to have at 7 o'clock. Alan Carlson, pay up, buddy. It's $5 if you want to be here. That's right. I'm not answering your comments unless you give me $5. Sue me. It's called capitalism. That's right. I'm grifting now. I'm the worst grifter in the world. Could it be to destroy the call contracts? I mean, the flush today. No, I think Trump's just being his typical self. And that jobs report, I mean, it's definitely trending down. But hey, just fire the head of the BLS and you know what? Jobs magically go up. I was talking to someone in the chat, not strong, man. Okay. Do you personally feel the jobs revision is accurate, or are you with Donald that they are fake? I honestly think it's accurate. You want to know why? Because if they wanted him to look bad, they would have made it bad from the get-go. They had decent reports in the beginning, and then they were revised down later. If you want to make Trump look bad, if you were actually trying to make him look bad, you would have published horrible reports from the beginning. So it doesn't make sense to me that all of a sudden, oh, she's manipulating the reports, bro, to make Trump look bad. It doesn't matter. Trump is the president. He won. He's the president for the next 3.5 freaking years. Okay? If you wanted to do damage, you should have done that before. Figma is a design software. Yeah, we'll talk about it. I mean, I looked into it a little bit. It's actually pretty cool. You can actually use it. Like if you want to make your own app, you can pay for it and you just give it a prompt and it can help you design your own app. And companies like around the world use it for like collaborative teamwork. It's pretty cool. Don't you feel the soy in your veins using the app? Pay cash and stop buying Mexican food. Go with American burgers. I don't want to feel like a fat grease ball. Okay? It makes me feel like whenever I eat like McDonald's or Wendy's, I feel disgusting. The only time I don't feel disgusting is when I go to Chick-fil-A or Chipotle. Every other fast food joint, I feel like a fat pig, especially, McDonald's, definitely. I stopped. I'm done with McDonald's. And, whatchamacallit, Taco Bell. Oh my God. I feel so disgusting every time I eat there. I've literally had Chick-fil-A for lunch and Chipotle for dinner every single day, almost every single day that I've been here. All right. Got another member comment. What's your outlook for the stock market in the coming 3 years? I have no idea, dude. That's anybody that gives you an outlook is a freaking clown. I mean, if I were to hazard a guess, I think it might do well because if AI actually plays out and corporate profits explode and a lot of things get automated, you're firing a bunch of people and you're massively increasing margins, and new revenue streams with AI, the market could do very well in the next couple of years. I mean, AI could really boost corporate profits. So I'm not selling anything unless I need it in the short term. Long-term money, like money in Roths and 401ks, I'm not touching that. Not touching that. Never. I'm never selling it until like I'm retired. McDonald's makes me feel like I don't know how he lives off McDonald's, dude. McDonald's is so gross. Makes sense about the low quality American food. You are a true elder millennial. You probably buy a Toyota or a Honda after your Ford breaks down. Millennials obsess about Japanese cars. I'm going to get the cheapest car I can get. Now, my parents, so my grandmother died a couple months ago, and she had an old Jetta with like 8,000 miles on it. And I actually talked to my parents, and I'm like, okay, I will buy the car from you at fair market value if my car breaks down. And the FMV, fair market value, is probably like maybe $5,000. So that's actually my first plan. Buy for my parents. If they say no or something happens, I'm getting the cheapest, probably new, to be honest, probably cheapest, newest compact car I could get. And you can get some good deals and you can fit kids in them. Oh, it's too small for kids. Bull crap. I fit my kids in my Ford Fiesta. You don't need a big car. Sethy boy, what's up, bro? Do you think the Fed should lower interest rates? Why or why not? I mean, they're just being, I think they should be cautious like they're doing because there is a risk of more inflation. So it's kind of just a wait and see. Like they're just, instead of being proactive, they're being reactive. That's all they're doing. So I think they're doing the right thing. I trust Jerome Powell over Trump. Trump just wants to pump the markets. Warren Buffett is lying to promote McDonald's. McDonald's, dude. It's so disgusting. If someone pays 50 USD, will you go over TRT use among men your age and what your testosterone and E2 numbers? Many men your age pin at the gym. I mean, I could do a video. I don't think that would do well. I could do it on the other channel. And I don't know what my testosterone is. I mean, I did get blood work done, so maybe it's on there somewhere, but I don't know what my testosterone is. I imagine it's like normal. I'd be shocked if it was low. But I could do a sponsored video, but it's going to be on the other channel. This is a stock. This is a bro buying to get channel, bro. Okay, so if you want to do it, click the pinned comment. I can do a sponsored video, but I don't know what I'm not getting a testosterone test for a freaking $50 video. McDonald's is trash. I agree. All right, I think that's it for this video. Once again, check out all my services. You literally click the link. Okay, click the link. You'll see a link tree, and you can sign up for a variety of different things. And there's a free Discord in there. There's a completely free. You can join the Discord. Come in there. You can talk about stocks. You can talk about crypto. You can talk about dating. What else do we talk about? You can make fun of clowns. There's like a space for everybody there. Okay, it's completely free. I have no plans to monetize it. Going forward, I have no plans to monetize that Discord. So check out the Discord. It's pretty fun. I actually use it for a lot of information. And there's a pretty cool dedicated crew in there, especially when it comes to the coach and Khmer. They get it pretty bad. All right, last member comment. Facts. It tastes good, but it's terrible for you. No McDonald's. All right, thank you for tuning in, guys. Give me about 10, 15 minutes, and we'll move on to the Figma video. Have a wonderful day.